Welcome to Miss Scarlett. Subscribe and don't miss out on Patreon. Have fun! In the hushed atmosphere of his apartment, Ari caressed a fragment of Megan's presence, a teal crop top abandoned after their lunch rendezvous. The fabric, delicate against his skin, evoked the vibrant Caribbean waters he'd once swum in during summer. As he stood in silence, only the whir of the air conditioner interrupted his introspection. Megan, in her carefree spirit, had discarded the garment on his reading chair, a subtle reminder of their connection. Then, the serene moment was interrupted by a digital intrusion. His phone buzzed on the coffee table, alerting him to an incoming video call. It was Chris, his college confidant, whose timing was certainly uncanny. Without thinking, Ari answered while still holding the crop top. "What's up?" Chris's voice boomed through the speaker. "You still on for basketball tomorrow?" "Yeah, definitely," Ari replied, distracted. He couldn't stop looking at the garment in his hands. "What's that you're holding?" Chris asked, squinting at the screen. Ari felt heat rise to his cheeks. "Megan left her top here." "Ah, the plot thickens." Chris chuckled. "You two getting serious then?" "No, nothing like that," Ari said, running his hand through his short brown hair. "We're just friends." An awkward silence settled between them, broken only when Chris said something that would change everything. "You know, that color would actually look amazing with your eyes." Ari laughed, but the comment lodged itself in his mind. "Don't be ridiculous." "I'm serious. Your eyes have that same greenish-blue thing going on. You'd rock it better than she does." The conversation shifted to other topics, but after they hung up, Ari found himself still holding the crop top, Chris's words echoing in his thoughts. The bathroom mirror reflected his hesitation. The brown-haired man staring back at him looked uncertain, the teal fabric clutched in front of his chest like a shield. "This is stupid," he muttered to himself. But curiosity won. In one swift motion, he pulled his t-shirt over his head and slipped into Megan's top. The fabric settled against his skin, surprisingly comfortable despite being slightly tight across his shoulders. He stared at his reflection. The teal color did indeed bring out the blue-green flecks in his eyes. Something about the way it cut across his midriff made him stand taller, shoulders back. He turned slightly, examining his profile. "Huh," he whispered, surprised by how much he didn't hate it. His phone buzzed again, Chris calling back. Without thinking, Ari answered, forgetting what he was wearing. Chris's eyes widened. "Well, damn, I was right." "Oh, God." Ari moved to end the call, mortification washing over him. "No, wait!" Chris called out. "I'm serious. It looks good. Really good." "You're not freaked out?" "Why would I be? It's just clothes, man. And that color really does something for you." Ari looked at himself again in the mirror, phone still in hand. "You think so?" "Absolutely. Your eyes pop like crazy." Something warm bloomed in Ari's chest, a feeling of rightness he couldn't explain. The next morning, he carefully folded the crop top and placed it on Megan's doorstep with a note thanking her for forgetting it. But that evening, he found himself browsing online clothing stores, cursor hovering over a similar teal top in his size. "What am I doing?" he asked, his empty apartment. But he knew exactly what he was doing when he clicked Add to Cart. The package arrived 3 days later. Ari waited until evening to open it, feeling both excited and nervous. The crop top he'd ordered was slightly different, designed for his broader shoulders, with a bit more length. This time, when he put it on, He paired it with his regular jeans. The combination was jarring, but also thrilling. He took a selfie and, after hesitating for 10 full minutes, sent it to Chris. The response came immediately. "Dude, yes, but try it with different pants, maybe?" And just like that, a door opened that Ari hadn't known existed. Over the next few weeks, packages arrived regularly. A flowing maxi skirt in charcoal gray. A pair of high-waisted jeans designed for curves he didn't yet have. A dusty rose blouse with delicate pearl buttons. Each item felt like a revelation, a piece of a puzzle he hadn't known he was assembling. Chris became his confidant, offering suggestions and encouragement. "Have you thought about makeup?" he asked during one of their video chats. "Just something simple to start. Mascara would make your eyes even more dramatic with that top." Ari hadn't considered it, but the idea took root. YouTube tutorials became his nightly ritual. His first attempts with mascara left black smudges under his eyes, but he improved quickly. Eyeliner followed, then a tinted moisturizer that evened out his skin tone. 2 months after trying on Megan's forgotten crop top, Ari stood before his full-length mirror in a complete outfit. The teal crop top that had started it all. A high-waisted black skirt that swished around his calves. Subtle makeup that enhanced, rather than masked, his features. And his growing brown hair, now styled in a way that softened his jawline. The person staring back at him was familiar, yet new. Something about this version of himself felt more authentic than the image he'd projected for 28 years. That night, he couldn't sleep. Questions circled his mind like restless birds. Was this just experimentation? A phase? Or something deeper? The answer came to him as dawn broke. It didn't matter what label applied. What mattered was how he felt, more himself than he'd ever been. The name Edith whispered through his consciousness, a gift from his subconscious. His grandmother's name, a woman who'd always embraced her uniqueness, who'd told a young Ari that authenticity was the greatest form of courage. "Edith," he tried out loud, the sound filling his bedroom with possibility. The decision to tell Megan came during their regular coffee meetup. They sat at their usual corner table, Megan chatting about her latest photography project, while Ari, dressed in his male clothes for what he decided would be the last time, gathered his courage. "I need to tell you something," he finally interrupted. "Remember that teal crop top you left at my place a few months ago?" Her brow furrowed. "The one you returned? What about it?" He took a deep breath. "I tried it on, before returning it." A smile played at the corners of her mouth. And it changed everything." The words tumbled out then. About the clothes, about feeling right for the first time, about the name Edith that had come to him like a gift. When he finished, breathless and vulnerable, Megan reached across the table and squeezed his hand. "Thank you for trusting me with this. So, Edith, what can I do to support you?" Tears pricked at his eyes. "You could help me shop for more crop tops? I seem to have developed an obsession." Her laughter was warm and welcoming. "That, my friend, I can definitely do." The following weekend, Ari officially became Edith. Megan and Chris helped her clear out her old wardrobe, donating the clothes that no longer felt like hers. They spent hours at various stores, building a collection that expressed who she truly was. "You need to document this journey," Megan insisted, professional photographer's eye assessing Edith in a cotton crop top paired with wide-legged linen pants. "Your style is evolving so beautifully." The blog started as a simple photo diary. Daily outfits captured in Edith's apartment mirror. Her signature became crop tops in every conceivable variation, always styled in ways that felt both authentic and creative. She wrote candidly about her journey, about finding herself through fabric and color. 3 months in, the blog exploded in popularity. Style beyond boundaries resonated with people searching for permission to express themselves. Edith's comment section filled with gratitude and questions. How to style certain body types, where to find inclusive clothing, how to begin the journey toward authenticity. "You've created something amazing," Chris told her over dinner, 6 months after that first video call. "People are finding courage through your story." Edith smoothed the silk crop top she wore, paired with a tailored blazer and matching pants. Her brown hair now reached her shoulders, framing her face in soft waves. "I just wanted to feel right in my own skin. I never expected to help others do the same." The first brand partnership request came from a boutique specializing in inclusive sizing. They wanted Edith to showcase their new line of crop tops designed for diverse body types. The email ended with a note that made her tear up. "Your authenticity has inspired our entire design approach." As her following grew, so did her confidence. Hormone therapy was a decision Edith made quietly, after months of reflection and consultation with medical professionals. The subtle changes to her body felt like corrections to a portrait that had been slightly out of focus. Her 1-year blogiversary coincided with a major fashion week. The invitation to attend as an influencer arrived in a cream envelope with gold embossing. Edith traced the letters of her name, her real name, feeling a sense of validation that transcended the honor of the invitation itself. "What will you wear?" Megan asked during their weekly coffee date, now a tradition they both protected fiercely in their schedules. Edith smiled. "A crop top, of course, but I'm thinking something special." Something that honors where this all began. The custom-designed piece arrived 3 days before the event. A structured teal crop top in heavy silk, with architectural details that referenced both femininity and strength. Paired with a floor-length black skirt that pooled dramatically around her feet, the outfit felt like both a statement and a celebration. Fashion Week was a whirlwind of cameras, connections, and confirmation that Edith's voice mattered in the industry. Designers sought her opinion, other influencers requested collaborations, and readers approached her with tears in their eyes to share how her journey had inspired their own. "Did you ever imagine this would be your life?" a journalist asked during an impromptu interview, gesturing to the glamorous chaos around them. Edith thought of that quiet moment in her apartment, holding Megan's forgotten crop top. "Not specifically this, no, but I always sensed there was more to me than I was allowing myself to express. I just needed the right catalyst." The story ran under the headline, "The Crop Top That Changed a Life: How Edith Bennett Found Herself Through Fashion." Back in her hotel room that night, surrounded by gift bags from designers and business cards from industry professionals, Edith opened her laptop to update her blog. The post began, "A year ago, I held a piece of teal fabric that reflected something true about me. Today, I stood before the fashion world in another teal top, no longer reflecting possibilities but radiating certainties. This is me. This has always been me. The journey between these two moments has been about recognition, not transformation." The comments section flooded immediately. One in particular caught her attention. "I've been following you since day one. Watching you become more yourself with each post gave me courage to begin my own journey. Thank you for showing me that authenticity isn't selfish. It's necessary." Edith wiped away a tear, her fingers hovering over the keyboard as she considered her response. But before she could type, her phone rang. Chris calling for their nightly debrief. "You absolutely crushed it today," he said, instead of hello. "Every photo I've seen looks amazing." "It felt surreal," she admitted, kicking off her heels and curling up on the plush hotel bed. "Like I was watching someone else living my dream." "Nope, that was all you, Edith in her full glory." They talked for an hour, analyzing every interaction, every outfit spotted, every potential opportunity that had arisen. As always, Chris's support remained unwavering, his friendship a constant, as everything else in her life transformed. "I've been thinking," Edith said, as their conversation wound down, "about expanding the blog." "In what way?" "I want to feature other people's journeys toward authentic self-expression, not just through clothes, but through all the ways we present ourselves to the world." Chris was quiet for a moment. "That sounds perfect. Your platform becoming a platform for others." After they hung up, Edith opened her laptop again and began drafting a new page for her site. The vision came easily, a space where people could share their stories, where the common thread wasn't any specific journey, but the courage to embark on one at all. The next morning, wearing a casual cotton crop top with high-waisted jeans, Edith attended her first designer showcase of the day. The photographer from Vogue spotted her immediately, requesting a street-style photo that would appear in their online coverage by afternoon. As the camera captured her confident stance, Edith realized how far she'd come from that uncertain person holding Megan's top in front of a bathroom mirror. The clothes hadn't changed her. They'd revealed her. The last day of Fashion Week coincided with a surprise. Megan arrived at Edith's hotel with a small gift box tied with teal ribbon. "I couldn't miss your triumph," she explained, embracing Edith warmly. "And I brought something I think you'll appreciate." Inside the box lay a delicate gold necklace with a small crop top pendant. Engraved on the back were the words, "The beginning, not the becoming." Edith's eyes filled with tears. "It's perfect." "Like you," Megan replied simply. The final event was an exclusive party hosted by a famous designer known for gender-fluid creations. Edith wore her most daring outfit yet, a metallic crop top that caught the light with every movement, paired with a structured pantsuit in deep emerald green. The pendant from Megan nestled at her throat, catching the same light. People gravitated toward her all evening, drawn by her confidence and the genuine warmth she extended to everyone she met. When the designer himself approached to compliment her outfit, Edith seized the opportunity. "I'd love to discuss a potential collaboration," she said, surprising herself with her boldness. "My platform has reached a point where I want to help create, not just showcase." His eyes lit with interest. "Tell me more." By the end of their conversation, the seed of a capsule collection had been planted. Crop tops designed by Edith, manufactured under his label, with a portion of proceeds supporting organizations helping people access gender-affirming care. When she returned home from Fashion Week, Edith's apartment felt both familiar and strange, like a space she'd outgrown. The full-length mirror that had witnessed her earliest experiments now reflected a woman fully realized, brown hair flowing past her shoulders, features softened by hormones and highlighted by skillfully applied makeup, body clothed in a fashion that felt like truth. The blog's new direction launched with overwhelming success. Style Beyond Boundaries, Community Edition, featured stories from readers around the world, each discovering their own authenticity through self-expression. Edith maintained her daily outfit posts. Crop tops remained her signature, but the focus expanded to include the broader conversation about identity and presentation. 6 months later, the capsule collection debuted to critical acclaim. Bennett Basics featured crop tops in various styles, each designed to work with different body types, and each named after someone whose story had been featured on her blog. The launch party doubled as a fundraiser. Edith stood on a small stage wearing the Catalyst, a teal crop top reminiscent of the one that had started her journey, but reimagined with structural elements that made it uniquely hers. 2 years ago, I tried on a borrowed garment and recognized myself in the mirror, she told the gathered crowd. That recognition didn't change who I was. It revealed who I'd always been. These clothes we're launching today aren't transformative in themselves. They're tools of revelation, designed to help each wearer see their own truth more clearly. The applause was thunderous. In the front row, Chris and Megan cheered the loudest, their support as unwavering as it had been from the first uncertain steps of her journey. Later that evening, as the party wound down, a young person approached Edith shyly.
"Your blog gave me courage to try new things,"
they said, voice barely audible above the music.
"I don't know exactly who I am yet, but I'm not afraid to find out anymore."
Edith smiled, recognizing the particular blend of fear and hope in their eyes. The not knowing is part of the journey. Be patient with yourself. Try things. Keep what feels right. Discard what doesn't. Your truth will emerge. As they walked away, visibly moved by her words, Chris appeared at her elbow. "You're changing lives, you know." "I'm just returning the favor," she replied, thinking of his words that fateful day. That color would look amazing with your eyes. How differently things might have unfolded without that simple encouragement. The capsule collection sold out within 24 hours. Reorders poured in, and the charitable foundation received funding beyond anyone's expectations. Edith's inbox filled with partnership offers, speaking requests, and most precious of all, messages from people finding courage through her example. On the 2nd anniversary of her first blog post, Edith sat in her new apartment, a light-filled space overlooking the city park, and reflected on the journey. Her wardrobe now filled a walk-in closet organized by color and style, with an entire section dedicated to her beloved crop tops. Her makeup collection occupied a custom vanity. Her brown hair, now reaching the middle of her back, was styled by a professional before important appearances. Yet for all the external changes, the most profound transformation had been internal, the quiet certainty that had replaced doubt, the comfort that had supplanted anxiety, the joy of living as herself rather than as an approximation of someone else's expectations. Her reflection interrupted by the doorbell, Edith rose to answer. Outside stood Chris and Megan, arms laden with champagne and takeout containers from her favorite restaurant. "Surprise!" Megan called, bustling past her into the apartment. "We're celebrating your blogiversary whether you plan to or not." Chris followed with a grin. "And we have news that needs celebrating too." Once they'd settled around Edith's dining table, glasses filled with bubbly, Chris revealed that a major publishing house had approached them, him as writer, Megan as photographer, about creating a coffee table book documenting Edith's style evolution and the stories from her blog. "They're calling it Revelations, Finding Truth Through Fashion," he explained, unable to contain his excitement. "Full creative control, major distribution, and a percentage of proceeds to continue your foundation work." Edith sat stunned, champagne forgotten. "That's incredible. But it's not just my story to tell anymore. It belongs to everyone who's been featured on the blog." "That's exactly what we told them," Megan assured her. The concept includes getting updated stories from your featured community members, where they are now, how their journeys have progressed. It's the next logical step, Chris added. From blog to clothing line to book, your message deserves the permanence of print. Looking at her two closest friends, the ones who'd supported her from the very first uncertain days, Edith felt overwhelmed with gratitude. I don't know what to say except thank you for this, but more importantly, for everything before this, for seeing me before I could see myself. They raised their glasses in a toast.
To revelations,
Chris offered.
to journeys,
Megan added.
to crop tops.
Edith finished with a laugh. The garments that revealed rather than changed me. Later, after her friends had left and the apartment had settled into nighttime quiet, Edith stood before her bedroom mirror. She wore the original teal crop top she'd purchased, the first one that had been truly hers, paired with simple black leggings. Her brown hair was loose around her shoulders, her face free of makeup. In this moment of privacy, stripped of the fashion influencer persona, but fully herself, Edith smiled at her reflection. The woman who smiled back was authentic in every way that mattered, not because of the clothes she wore or the name she used, but because she had chosen truth over comfort, courage over conformity. She touched the crop top pendant that had rarely left her neck since Megan had given it to her. The beginning, not the becoming. The distinction felt important, a reminder that her journey hadn't been about transformation but recognition. Tomorrow she would begin planning the book project, expanding her clothing line, continuing to build the community that had grown around her blog. But tonight, in this quiet moment of reflection, Edith simply appreciated the path that had led her here, from hesitantly trying on a borrowed garment to confidently wearing her truth every day. The teal fabric caught the low light of her bedroom lamp, reminding her of that first moment of recognition 2 years ago. Some might call what had happened since then a metamorphosis, but Edith knew better. Nothing had been created that hadn't already existed. The butterfly doesn't become. It reveals what was always folded within. Thanks for watching, my girlies! Be sure to check out Patreon for more!